Hello, I'm Dr. Caroline Bennett. Today, I want to ask you a question that might resonate with your last night. You lie down, finally ready to rest, and a few minutes or hours later, the sensation begins. A burning that rises from your stomach to your chest. A bitter and acidic taste in your mouth. Perhaps even a dry cough that forces you to sit up. This is the nightly reality of acid reflux. A sleep thief that affects millions and turns the promise of rest into an uncomfortable battle. The conventional answer usually involves a list of foods to avoid, sleeping with your head elevated on several pillows, or the constant use of antacids. But what if I told you that one of the most effective solutions to silence this nightly fire is not found at the pharmacy, but in your fruit bowl? What if a trick, so simple it borders on the unbelievable, could be your secret weapon for peaceful nights? The title of this video may seem provocative, but the truth is that nature's most powerful solutions are often the simplest and most overlooked. In this video, we will unravel the mechanics behind reflux and how a single apple, eaten at the right time, can change your nights forever. To solve the problem of reflux, we must first correct a major misunderstanding. Most people believe that reflux is caused by an excess of acid in the stomach. While this may be true in some cases, for many, especially after the age of 50, the problem is the exact opposite: insufficient stomach acid and a mechanical failure. Let's use an analogy. Imagine your stomach as a sturdy balloon, filled with an acidic liquid that is absolutely essential for breaking down food and protecting us from pathogens. At the top of this balloon, there is a valve, a muscular ring called the lower esophageal sphincter, or LES. The function of this valve is to open to let food in, and to close tightly so that nothing comes out. Reflux happens when this valve doesn't close properly, allowing the acidic contents of the stomach to rise up into the esophagus, which lacks the protection to handle such acidity. But why does this valve fail? This is where our two culprits come in. The first is, in fact, the weakening of the lower esophageal sphincter itself. As the years go by, our body's muscle tone can decrease, and this valve is no exception. It can become looser and less reliable in its sealing function. The second culprit, and here is the big surprise, is the internal pressure caused by poor digestion. When we have too little acid in our stomach, food is not broken down efficiently. It stays in the stomach for longer than it should, beginning a process of fermentation by bacteria. This fermentation produces gas, and this gas increases the pressure inside the balloon. This intra-abdominal pressure pushes the stomach's contents upward, and eventually forces open the already weakened valve. Therefore, the problem is not having too much acid, but the pressure generated by inefficient digestion that pushes the little acid you do have into the wrong place. This is where the humble apple comes into play, not as a magic trick, but as an elegant biomechanical and biochemical solution. The apple works on three distinct fronts to combat reflux, making it a nearly perfect natural remedy. The first and most powerful weapon of the apple is a soluble fiber called pectin. Pectin is abundant in the pulp and skin of the apple, and has a fascinating property. When it comes in contact with stomach fluids, it forms a gel-like substance. This gel acts in two crucial ways. First, it increases the weight and density of the stomach contents, making them less likely to splash upwards. Second, and more importantly, this gelatinous mass can form a sort of raft or plug that floats on top of the stomach acid, creating a physical barrier that prevents the acid from reaching the esophagus. This mechanism is remarkably similar to that of certain reflux medications known as alginates, which create a foam barrier. Studies on the effects of fiber, published in journals like the World Journal of Gastroenterology, support the role of soluble fibers in managing reflux symptoms, validating this fundamental principle. The second property of the apple is its alkalizing effect. You might think, but an apple is acidic. Yes, it contains malic acid, which gives it a slightly tart flavor. However, its effect in the stomach is different. Apples are rich in alkaline minerals, such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium. These minerals act as natural buffers, gently neutralizing the excess hydrochloric acid in the stomach on contact. This provides relief from the burning sensation similar to a low-dose antacid, but without the long-term side effects associated with the chronic use of antacids, which can worsen the problem of low acidity. Its chemistry in its simplest and most natural form, a mineral base neutralizing an acid. The third and perhaps smartest action of the apple is its role in promoting digestion. And this addresses the root cause of the problem. Malic acid itself, along with the natural enzymes present in the apple, helps to stimulate the digestive process. This signals the stomach to work more efficiently and to empty its contents into the small intestine more quickly. A stomach that empties more efficiently is a stomach with less time for food to ferment, less gas production, and consequently, less pressure pushing against the esophageal valve. Thus, the apple offers a complete solution. It neutralizes the acid in the short term, creates a physical barrier, and helps to solve the underlying problem of slow digestion. Now let's turn this science into a practical and simple nightly ritual, which I call the nightly apple ritual. First, the choice of apple is important. Prefer a sweeter, less acidic variety, such as Fuji, Gala, or Red Delicious. More acidic apples, like Granny Smith, can be a bit harsh for people with particularly sensitive stomachs. If possible, opt for an organic apple, as the skin, where much of the pectin is concentrated, will be free of pesticides. The timing and the way you eat it are crucial. Eat half or a whole apple about 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed. This gives it time to start taking effect before you lie down horizontally. Eat it raw and with the skin on, after washing it well. And here is the most important tip. Chew it extremely well, until it turns into a puree in your mouth. Chewing is the first and most critical step of digestion. It releases the enzymes from your saliva and from the apple itself, and breaks down the fibers so that the pectin can mix effectively with the gastric fluids. Avoid drinking a large amount of water with the apple, so as not to add unnecessary volume to your stomach. My professional tip: if you feel that a whole apple is too much volume before bed, start with half. Consistency is more important than quantity. For an alternative, especially if you have sensitive teeth, you can make a homemade applesauce by gently cooking the apple without adding sugar. Cooking can, in fact, make the pectin even more available. In conclusion, nightly reflux does not have to be a sentence of sleepless nights. The solution may not lie in a chemical war against your body's acid, but in working intelligently with your own physiology. The apple, with its trinity of power, the pectin that creates barriers, the minerals that neutralize, and the enzymes that digest, offers a triple, elegant, and natural strategy to bring peace to your nights. This simple, science-backed trick can be your first step to waking up feeling rested and refreshed, instead of tired and uncomfortable. However, it is my duty as a health professional to be very clear. This trick is a powerful aid for occasional, mild to moderate reflux. However, if you suffer from chronic and severe reflux, known as GERD, if you experience pain when swallowing, chest pain, or if your symptoms persist or worsen, it is absolutely essential that you consult your doctor. Persistent reflux is not something to self-diagnose and can lead to serious complications, such as damage to the esophagus, and requires professional follow-up. Now, I would love to hear from you. What is your experience with nightly reflux? Have you ever tried any natural solutions that worked for you? Share your wisdom in the comments below. If this video offered you a new perspective and a practical solution, please show your support by clicking the like button, so this information can reach more people. And of course, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue discovering the secrets of nature for a healthier and more balanced life.